In the dynamic world of AI, where innovation meets impact, our name stands out, DataRobot, the leader in value-driven AI. DataRobot provides a unified experience to build, operate, and govern your generative AI and predictive AI lifecycle. This empowers our customers to develop and scale production-ready use cases enterprise-wide. The DataRobot AI platform is a game changer, offering an open and complete AI lifecycle platform that seamlessly unifies your entire AI landscape and integrates seamlessly with your existing tools, infrastructure, and business processes. Leading global organizations trust DataRobot to maximize the impact and value of their AI initiatives. Now, envision the power when two industry leaders unite, DataRobot and Microsoft Azure. This partnership streamlines AI for data scientists, developers, and business leaders, unlocking new use cases and delivering business value faster. But what does this mean for you? It means enriched customer experiences and unwavering confidence in your AI's security, operations, and governance. Our aligned product roadmaps lead to integrated, simplified, and productivity-enhancing experiences for our customers. And our groundbreaking integration with Azure OpenAI revolutionizes the kinds of AI solutions you can create. It's a user experience like never before. AI teams can now innovate faster, build new AI solutions, and put more models into production easier than ever. But don't just take our word for it. Let's look at how organizations like Steward Healthcare, 8451 Kroger, BSI, and MAPFRE are not just succeeding, but elevating their customer experiences with DataRobot and Azure. From healthcare to retail, the impact is tangible. Faster outcomes, substantial savings, and a value-focused AI approach that translates directly into enhanced customer satisfaction. The future is here, and DataRobot and Microsoft combined will help you make the most of this incredible moment. Together, we provide you with the complete platform for building, governing, and operating AI solutions that drive real-world impact.
Hello, I'm Andrea Kropp, a senior data scientist at DataRobot, where I assist teams at large enterprises with driving the real-world impact that Venky was just emphasizing. I also have the pleasure of creating a lot of our educational video content to take you inside real use cases, explaining their business purpose, the build process and components, and the guardrails and governance in place to ensure confidence. Adoption of the DataRobot platform for generative AI solutions has been swift and broad across industries and functional areas, from banking to healthcare to retail, from logistics to HR to marketing. In banking, portfolio managers can process and synthesize vast amounts of news and financial reports to inform investment decisions. In healthcare, patients can get answers to complex billing questions, explained using terminology that they understand. In retail, shoppers can receive hyper-personalized communications that vary in tone, from humorous to persuasive to formal, even when recommending the same black sweater. In insurance, policyholders can generate summaries of densely written policy documents. And in manufacturing, safety compliance officers can utilize LLMs to monitor adherence to regulations and work safety standards. At DataRobot, we're in a unique position to participate in your use case brainstorming to find the highest value use cases to prioritize. All these cross-industry, cross-functional conversations have also revealed the top challenges. When we looked at all the challenges that data leaders are facing with generative AI, it came down to a confidence problem across a couple different vectors. Confidence that they could control the chaos that is happening. There's a general lack of visibility into all the generative AI that's being built and all that is already operating within business processes. Confidence that they're not going to take on technical debt. It's all changing so fast that it's hard to know if an LLM that's good today is going to be the right one in the future. Confidence that they can control cost and scale efficiently. The costs are becoming a big focus area. Controlling the costs is something we're hearing more and more in discussions. Confidence in the correctness and appropriateness of generative responses. Words have power, and leaders are concerned about both factual accuracy and brand impact from chatbot voice and tone. Last but not least, security. Confidence that data about individuals remains protected, and confidence that company secrets are not accidentally made public via prompts and document uploads. But enough about problems. Let's talk solutions. To bring confidence to your entire AI landscape, DataRobot gives you one unified experience to build, operate, and govern all your generative and predictive AI. Designed to integrate with your existing tools, processes, and infrastructure, it fuels the delivery of real-world value from your AI initiatives. What follows are 3 deep dive examples. The time is too short for a complete tour of platform capabilities. If you don't see the use case or functionality that you're most curious about, please get in touch. DataRobot customers are building some incredible AI solutions very fast in our platform, and we'd be happy to design a personalized demonstration or get you started with a software trial. Deep dive number 1 is evaluating confidence in generative output with an auditor model that rides alongside as a sidecar. Deep dive number 2 is monitoring a generative model for cost and quality with custom metrics that you define. And deep dive number 3 is comparing generative AI build approaches in the LLM playground. Feel free to skip ahead to the one that interests you most. Let's dive in. In this deep dive, we'll look at how you can use a sidecar auditor model to evaluate confidence in generative outputs. Generative AI systems can make for excellent assistants to draft responses to customer questions, summarize scientific research, or find relevant case law. But do you, as the end user, trust the results? How do you know if the answer is correct for the context of the question? Well, the answer to that is by combining generative with predictive AI. And the DataRobot platform makes it seamless to build both, deploy both, and position the predictive model as a sidecar to the generative model in the final user interface. This can be used for really any Q&A chatbot, but especially the ones that need to provide accurate and complete responses. This diagram shows a user prompt being routed to a generative AI model that has access to a vector database which has been created in advance. It contains source documents, such as technical documentation, academic articles, frequently asked questions, or legal briefs. The generative AI model creates a response to the prompt, but before showing the response to the user, it's routed to a predictive AI model that serves as the auditor. The auditor model evaluates the overall accuracy and alerts the user if there's a high probability that the information is inaccurate. Importantly, this auditor can be trained to detect incomplete or out-of-date responses, 2 scenarios which are very hard for a human to detect, even if they're familiar with the topic. The demonstration that follows shows an end user typing a question to interact with a generative AI solution that accelerates the process of responding to requests for proposal. RFP responses must be accurate and current. In this example, which pairs generative and predictive systems, we have the response to the question, but we also have references and we have scores from the audit model. In this case, the audit model believes that the answer is correct and can be trusted. The subscores that you see here for the audit model are completely in your control and will definitely vary by use case. Note that the choice of front end is entirely separate from the solution design. In this case, the same solution is presented as both a Slack integration and as a web application. In both cases, the references from the vector database, the audit model correctness score, and all of the subscores are presented to the user. This gives the user evidence for and confidence in the generated response. In this deep dive, we'll look at custom metrics for a generative AI use case. A critical part of building confidence is careful observation. But every use case is different, so the metrics and the threshold for triggering alerts needs to be different too. Each DataRobot deployment has numerous standard metrics out of the box, but custom metrics and the ease with which you can add them really sets our platform apart. Let's take a look at a sample deployment with multiple custom metrics, built from an AI accelerator. This AI accelerator is public on our DataRobot community GitHub page, so you can try it for yourself with a software license or a software trial account. Here we go. I'm going to start this deep dive in the DataRobot community GitHub, in the AI accelerators repo. Let's click into Generative AI and then into Using Custom Metrics. Before we examine the notebook file, let's take a look at some of the utility helper functions that are provided and which the notebook will reference. Scrolling down a bit, we see the function Create External LLM Deployment. You'll see that in the notebook to create that external LLM deployment in one command. Pretty amazing. Also in this helper functions file, you have Create Custom Metric and Submit Custom Metric. These do exactly what they sound like. They create the metric and then submit the results. And we'll see these functions in the Jupyter Notebook. Going to the notebook itself, I'm not going to run it from Jupyter, but rather I'll run it in DataRobot notebooks. I'm now showing you a split screen view between the DataRobot that generated the custom metrics on the left and the deployment which is tracking the custom metrics on the right. Let's scroll through the notebook and understand how the notebook created these metrics and how they're updated in real time each time we make an API call. This notebook was imported yesterday from Community GitHub. There are quite a few packages that need to be installed. Let me also orient you to the use case. The goal here is to generate a customer notification email to notify that customer about the status of their container. This is a public dataset for a fictitious logistics company. Let's scroll down and see one such customer email. In this cell, we concatenate all the information about the shipment. And then we send that information to Azure OpenAI to write this customer email. Unfortunately, for this customer, it's bad news. There may be a potential delay in the delivery of their container. After testing the solution locally, we create the deployment using the function Create External LLM Deployment. How easy is that? Once the deployment is created, we can assign it specific custom metrics. This notebook demonstrates how metrics can fall into multiple categories. The first category is cost metrics. We define two custom metrics using the pricing information provided by Azure. Once the logic for the custom metrics are defined, we use the function Create Custom Metrics to create that metric in the deployment. This process then repeats for other metrics. Here are two readability metrics. They're defined in the cell on top and created as custom metrics in the cell on the bottom. You get the idea. Here's some regulatory and safety metrics. First it's defined, then it's created, and we have some business value metrics, definition and creation. This notebook created these metrics on the right-hand side. Let's go ahead and add some new requests to this deployment. This cell selects a container at random and generates the customer email. Let's go ahead and perform a few random executions and watch what happens on the right-hand side. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. And now if we refresh our metrics, we should have some new values. We're super excited about how easy it is to define custom metrics and how easy it is to track them over time every time an LLM call is made. For this deep dive, we'll hear from Yuri, one of our LLM Playground developers. Before we cut over to Yuri, let me explain what you're about to see and why we're so excited about it. The LLM Playground is a place for you to test combinations of base LLMs, prompts, and vector databases to see which combination is best for your use case. This is analogous to data scientists testing a random forest next to a gradient-boosted tree next to a neural network to see which makes the most accurate predictions. It's only through trial and error and experimentation that the best combination of preprocessing, model type, and parameter settings is found. Generative AI is no different. You need to evaluate different combinations of LLM, vector database, prompts at various temperatures, and do it quickly in an organized way that can be easily shared and explained. Enter DataRobot Playgrounds. You will see Yuri create the blank playground environment with a single click. Then we'll skip ahead to the point where he has created 2 combinations and is adding a third for comparison purposes. Enjoy.
Hello, Yuri from GenAI Playground here. Today's demo will be focused on the redesigned Playground experience as well as the Playground Compare feature. To get started, let's create a new playground in our use case. This brings us to the new Playground UI, which is centered around developing LLM blueprints. So here we have a new LLM blueprint created for us by default. It's in a draft status, so we can change its settings, experiment with different configurations by prompting it. So let's develop our first LLM blueprint. Okay, so we can see that the prompt template takes effect here, and it affects the tone of the responses of individual LLM blueprints. Now let's return to the development screen again, and let's add a third LLM blueprint. So we'll create a new draft. We'll need a third tone here, so let's maybe add this one instead. I'll pick GPT-4 for this particular LLM blueprint, and we'll say you are a direct to the point AI that speaks as concisely as possible. Okay, the response is pretty short, just like we want it. Let's save it and go to the compare screen. So we've seen these 2 responses already. Now, if we select our new LLM blueprint, we'll have the opportunity to backfill the response for the previous prompt using the third blueprint. So let's see what our direct to the point AI has to think about this prompt. Okay, the response is definitely shorter than the previous ones and has a different tone, just like we said in the prompt template. Now we can ask all our 3 LLM blueprints something else. Let's say, how do I exit Vim? And again, we see the prompt template affecting our 3 LLM blueprints differently. One is very direct and to the point. The second one is misleading and avoids the main question. And the third one is very polite, diplomatic, and formal. So this new Playground Compare flow allows you to compare your LLM blueprints side by side and see if the LLM blueprints of interest behave just like you wanted them to. Thank you for watching.
Thanks for sticking with me through those deep dives. There's so much more to see and explore, and we really do want to hear from you to understand what you're trying to achieve and what hurdles you're facing. I live in Washington, where Microsoft Ignite is being held. I'll also be attending the event in person in Seattle, along with Venky, Ksenia, Matthias, and Paul. If you're seeing this in our virtual booth, know that we have AI experts positioned globally to further this discussion in any time zone. Stop by our website for more information and demos, and to take the next step, whether that's a conversation or a software trial. Thanks, and bye for now.